So, um, oftentimes there's problems with clothes. So you spill a drink on your clothes and you get wet, or they get dirty inside. The opposite is true that they keep your sweat in and stuff so it can cool down. It feels sticky and gross, and all these other things. So wouldn't it be great if liquids could only go one way out? And a bunch of other things like that. Well, here is how we could do that in theory, and maybe make it practical. Well, first of all, let's pretend we have a material that absorbs water more and more better as you go farther away from the material, but it's all absorbs into water. And on the light end is your skin. So I'm going to just actually insert something called your skin with and this is your skin that's giving off the moisture. So that will take the moisture away from your skin and draw it away from your skin. It becomes more absorbent. It doesn't necessarily mean more sticky, but it can hold more water. However, if water comes in from the opposite direction from the outside world, the water wants to stay closer to the top outside, because that keeps the water better. That means it kind of hits a brick wall. It's more like just to stay at the surface level and drip off or not get your skin. But let's enhance that effect even more. Let's make the top surface curved, which I demonstrate with a circle. Well, if it's curved, water is drawn out even more widely, because this little bit of water comes out from the outside world and spreads out across the surface and doesn't really wet it out. And it can, as much because it's spread over a larger area. Like if the surface area is twice as much as your skin and outside, it becomes twice as much dilute on the surface. So it really pulls in more. But if it's going inside, the reverse happens and it blocks it off more because it gets more concentrated without this absorptivity. It's like squishing water together. To enhance this even more on a curved surface, water tends to like to form droplets. And droplets on a surface do not only interact with the surface as much when they're touching, but because they're curled in on themselves, they don't interact with the whole surface as much. And that's only stuff on the outside on a curved surface. So that would even make it harder for outside stuff to enter. Well, inside stuff it doesn't impact at all. Now, how could we actually build such a system? Well, one way we could do it is we could have a spray or something that we put it in. Well, I just thought of a fifth way. Spray or something that just we spray from the inside, and when we spray from the inside or from the outside, it affects the inside more than the outside, as the spray gets either absorbed more in the first layer or in the middle where it first contacts it, or that the spray gets you spray it at a angle so it spreads out and less of it goes deep in and it's more focused on the top. Or you can combine the spray ideas differently. You could also weave something with different fabric layers, and different fabric layers have different properties and absorptivities. I found that you figured out another way. Next thing you could do is you could even make the fabric itself have different printed with different compositions throughout by varying the fabric, its self properties, so it has a gradient within the fabric. Another way you could do it, that's the way I put it in there, and I skipped that one, is you could use an electric field or magnetic field or some other magnetic field or heat gradient to line up molecules in just the right way of doing it. Some things are, electric fields have been used to make polymers before with different properties on either side. And polymers briefly are just include plastics, it includes natural ones like cellulose and wool. They have different properties that are made by long repeated chains of molecules or subunits called monomers. You could also put this whole thing in a bath, and in this bath of liquids, you could have a bath have a gradient that coats it. The fifth thing you could do is you could texture it differently. So you could either on top press against something that like stamps a certain texture to it, or you could spray something that gives it a certain texture just the top, or in some way destroys it. Or you could make the texture smooth on the bottom by just pressing it against something flat or remelting it. And the sixth and final way you could do this is you could do a combo of all these methods. I hope you found this interesting. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. But with your help, I think you can do it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.